Hey gang, Graham here from therecordingrevolution.com with another 5 minutes to a better mix tutorial. We're looking at 31 mixing tips in 31 days. And kind of going off the heels of yesterday's drum and bass video, I have another one about how to get kick drum and bass guitar EQ working together so that you have clear kick drum and clear bass guitar and they complement each other, because those two instruments tend to fight for frequency space, right? In the low mids and the low. And if you can get them to both sit nicely together in the mix with the right EQ, man, they complement each other well. And there's almost nothing like a good kick drum with a bass guitar right next to it. So here's a quick tip that might help you get those two instruments to sit nicely together. Here's an example where I've got the same drums and bass from yesterday's video. And they sound fine, but when you get the whole mix together, you kind of lose some of the clarity of the bass and the kick drum. So let me show you a quick tip with EQ that might help out. I'm just going to grab a simple, at least 2-band EQ. We need 2 bands. I'm going to grab a 4-band here. And this is on the kick drum. What I'm going to do is come over to one of my low frequencies, and I'm going to type in 60 hertz. That's one frequency I'm going to target today. And I'm going to dial up the Q, which is how wide or narrow our EQ curve is, to about 2. So it's not super wide. And I'm just going to dial out about 3 dB. I'm going to notch out a little bit of 60, and then I'm going to come over here to 120 hertz on my next little notch. Same thing, I'm going to do a similar Q. And I'll notch that up about 3 dB. Now, you know me, I like to do subtractive EQ over boosting, but here's a good example of when to do a little bit of both. Now I'm going to flip over to the bass, and I'm going to add an EQ, same one, on the bass guitar, and I'm going to do the opposite. I'm going to come to 60 hertz. On the bass guitar, same Q, so the same wideness, and I'm going to boost by about 3 dB. On 60, and you guessed it, I'm going to cut about 120 on the bass guitar. So what have we done? If I target this so you can see both, here's my bass guitar EQ, and here is my kick drum EQ. They're mirrors of each other. They're opposites of each other, okay? So this may not be the only EQing you do on the kick and the bass, but I'm showing you simple examples. Let's take a listen to what that did. I'll bypass the EQs. Now that's super subtle. You may not hear much of a difference, but let's pull it back in context with the rest of the mix and see if this is helping. It is a subtle technique, but what I'm hearing is when you bring those EQs back in, I get a little more separation from the kick drum and the bass. I'm not altering their sound much at all. In fact, you may want to experiment with boosting or cutting even more to make it a little more audible, but the idea is that the bass and the kick sound fine, but I want to make sure that they're not competing with each other, and a little bit of EQ, swapping it at 60 and 120, let's say, on both, can make a nice big difference. Do a little bit more here. And let's do a little bit more here. Let's experiment and try one more time. A lot more clarity and separation. Love it. Hope that helps you guys. Again, this is Graham at therecordingrevolution.com with 5 minutes to a better mix. Got more tutorials for you. We'll see you on the next one.